We begin today in Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, where in just a few hours, President Trump will be back on the campaign trail ahead of next year's crucial midterms. The president's message will be centered on the all-important issue of the economy, with the administration hoping to flip the script on affordability by selling its signature legislation, the big, beautiful bill, as a win for everyday Americans. As of right now, though, most Americans have not seen much of a change, with recent polling finding 57% of Americans, including nearly a quarter of Republicans, saying President Trump is losing the battle against inflation. 46% of Americans say the cost of living is worse than they can remember. It's the worst they can remember. And the same amount say the economy is squarely on the president's shoulders. The persistent questions and worsening feelings about the economy have frustrated the president and his allies, with President Trump repeatedly calling the whole affordability issue a con job.
I inherited the worst inflation in history. There was no affordability. Nobody could afford anything. The prices were massively high. The word affordability is a con job by the Democrats. It's a con job. I think affordability is the greatest con job. They look at you and they say, affordability. They don't say anything else. Everyone says, oh, it was a con job. It was a con job. Affordability, they call it, was a con job by the Democrats.
Well, of course, as the polling shows, that message yet to truly take hold. NewsNation's Kellie Meyer is live in the Poconos Mountains, joining us now. Kellie, are we expecting more of the same from President Trump today?
Yeah, well, it's always expect the unexpected, Nicole. We are here in northeastern Pennsylvania. The president's set to arrive here in just a few hours here at the Mount Airy Casino and Resort here in Mount Pocono. This is really the first stop on the president's affordability road trip, as the White House is kind of referring to it as, starting to sell his economic message to Americans. He's going to deliver that message here today and then continue to do more events like this. This is really his first domestic stop, really, in a long time. He had two other Pennsylvania trips earlier this year, but he hasn't really touted his economic message, and that's what he's set to do here tonight. The White House press secretary talking about him giving a positive economic message here. They say he's going to talk about how it is the Biden administration that's to blame, and they're trying to do more work to get the economy better, but they say it already is better. Here's more from the White House press secretary earlier this morning.
President Trump is going to give a positive, economic-focused speech where he talks about all that he and his team has done to provide bigger paychecks and lower prices for the American people. There's a lot more work to do, and he'll talk more about that tonight, but this is going to be President Trump's bread and butter issue.
And you're taking a look at the inflation numbers. As we said, the White House continues to blame the Biden administration for the inflation that the American people are facing right now. We know that it was a little less in September of 2024, about the same in September 2025 as it was in January. We are waiting for the December report to come out. We didn't get it in October and November due to the government shutdown. So we'll continue to hear what the president has to say about how he's addressing the economy. It'll be interesting to see exactly what kind of policy he might talk about here tonight, but we expect him to hit on what he's done, as they say, over the last year, talking about no tax on tips, talking about some tax cuts and things like that, Nicole.
All right, Kellie, so we're waiting to hear what the president has to say. What are people there saying ahead of his visit?
Yeah, we actually just left a diner not too far from here, talking with more people from the area. A lot of them are really excited, first of all, to see the president coming to this area. I know we were talking to you yesterday from my hometown, about 40 minutes from here, of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. That's where the president has gone before, but he has never been to this area. This is a very strong Trump support area from what we were hearing from folks in that diner. But we asked them what they want to hear from the president tonight. Some of them have tickets to go to this rally here tonight. And here's what they had to say.
I would rather hear how he plans on tackling it more. I know I hear a lot of people complain about the tariffs. I think it's the smartest thing that we could possibly do. Get the world more on an even playing field. Everybody's taken advantage of us forever because we are a thriving nation. And I believe we're going to continue to thrive.
I have a big thing with veterans. I'd like to have more support I don't know if that's going to be one of his talking points, but we go and we help and we give aid, as everyone knows, to all different countries and such. But where is our help for our veterans?
Yeah, Nicole. So overall, they were saying they aren't feeling the pinch too much. They know costs are higher, but they say they're doing okay, that it's manageable, at least for the folks we talked to. They also said how excited they are to have him and how the schools here in the area are closing early. So the kids here are also pretty excited for his visit today, too, Nicole.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.